I'm Nanette Flynn, and welcome to my home. I want to talk to you about something this morning that is really precious to me. I had a friend that actually moved on and went to be with Jesus a couple years ago, and she gave me something as a result of a dream that I had had. I want to show it to you. So, anyway, here it is. It is a sword. That's actually really, really cool. And I'm not into swords. I'm not into collecting swords. I'm actually not into collecting anything. But I have this sword, and it has a lot of meaning to me because of a dream that I had several years ago. I had a dream that the Lord, the Spirit of God, gave me a business card. I knew I was supposed to start a new business. And on that business card was the logo for Descent Win, which is my coaching business. And the logo has two swords, and they were both swords like this, with a big handled sword with a double-edged side. This sword actually is an exact replica of a sword from the Lord of the Rings. And it has, on one side of it, it has the Ark of the Covenant, and then it has the Star of David on the top, and then on the other side it has the menorah and the Star of David on the top. It's actually pretty heavy, but in the dream, the Spirit of God said that the two swords that were in this logo were two offensive weapons that He had given me. And He said that if we would just use those offensive weapons, they would keep us moving forward and not stuck or defeated by the enemy. And I do believe that we have a real enemy in life that actually is an enemy of God, and that is, therefore, if we are living our lives in a manner submitted to God and serving God, that He is also our enemy. And if you're not, then He's not really worried about you, that concerned about you. But in this dream, those two swords, one was the sword of gratefulness. And that has truly become a sword to move me forward in my life. It, on a daily basis, can keep me from being stuck. The other sword, I'd never really thought about that sword as an offensive weapon, but it is the sword of forgiveness. So you had the sword of gratefulness, and then you had the sword of forgiveness. And they actually were behind the shield of faith, which most of us understand that faith actually is believing that God is who He says He is, and He'll do what He says He'll do. Even in our lives today, because He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. But back to the sword of forgiveness. One thing I have talked about in coaching and relationship dynamics is a lot of times we don't see forgiveness as an offensive weapon to us. And the way I've always explained forgiveness is that things happen in our lives all the time that are people do things against us, they do things to hurt us, and a lot of times they don't necessarily, they're not trying to, they're just acting out of where they're at and what they've been given. And when we choose to forgive, let me put it that way, when we choose to forgive, it keeps us moving forward. If we choose not to forgive, then what happens is like there is a rubber band, like a huge rubber band that goes, just imagine it going around us and going around the event or the person that we believe that offended us. So then, let's see, the counseling psychology world would probably call these triggers, but you go along in life and all of a sudden, plink, it's like something plinks that rubber band, and it doesn't matter how much progress we've made in that area or how much progress we've made, all of a sudden we come shooting back to that event and to that person. And when we don't forgive, we are stuck there. We are stuck connected to that person. Well, that sort of forgiveness then made sense to me, because as an offensive weapon, I can choose to forgive, and forgiveness is not justification for what that person did, or what happened in that situation, or how you were hurt. Or maybe how you hurt someone else, but it is cutting that so that literally it has no control over your life moving forward. That you can move forward and it's not gonna have the power to yank you back to that situation, to that those emotions and that negativity. And when I realized that, it was an incredibly powerful thing in my life. You know, we all have times when people have hurt us knowingly or unknowingly, when things, negative things, and sometimes very traumatic things have happened in our lives that were beyond our control, or at least at the time, they were beyond our control because we didn't know what to do about them. So this is just my little tidbit for you today about keeping yourself moving forward. So you've got two swords that you can work with, and you can just remember my sword that my sweet friend Karen gave me. She doesn't need it anymore because she's with Jesus. But as the two offensive weapons that you've been given in your life to keep you moving forward, and one is gratefulness, and the other one is forgiveness. So how do you want to operate with those two swords today to keep you moving forward? So until next time, au revoir.